Thank you guys so much for coming this afternoon. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Dr. J.J. Sreenan. I was raised in Lima, graduated from Lima Central Catholic in 1983, and returned to Lima following my completion of pathology training at the Cleveland Clinic in 1996. Since that time, my wife Mary of 32 years have raised two children here, Emily and John, both graduates of Lima Central Catholic as well. I have practiced pathology predominantly at St. Rita's Medical Center for the past 26 years, but also have practiced at multiple other local hospitals in the surrounding area. Besides my pathology practice, my partners and I operated a local small business, Lima Pathology Laboratories, until the early 2000s. I'm a proven leader who has been very active within our community. I have served on the LCC and the OSU Lima boards, the Bishop's Education Council, was chairman of the board of Big Brothers Big Sisters, served as chairman of multiple hospital committees, was the president of my state professional organization, the Ohio Society of Pathologists, and currently serve as the director of graduate medical education at St. Rita's. In this role of director of graduate medical education, my team has been instrumental in starting the residency programs at St. Rita's. This residency program has resulted not only in bringing nearly 100 young physicians to our area, but improving healthcare and healthcare access for the citizens of Lima and Allen County, as well as the impact area of the surrounding 10 counties. Finally, I served as Scoutmaster of Troop 103. I received several mentor awards from my Eagle Scouts and was presented the Scoutmaster of the Year award in 2017. My entire career up to this point has been in the medical field, both in private pathology practice and in education. I'm currently an adjunct professor at Ohio Northern University, The Ohio State University, University of Toledo Medical School, and the Ohio University Heritage College of Medicine. From all of these life experiences, I have witnessed the erosion of our constitutional God-given rights and freedoms by left-minded politicians and educators. This became particularly apparent during the COVID pandemic. While most citizens chose to remain silent and passive, I am choosing for the sake of my children and their generation to become more involved in reversing the erosion of our rights and freedoms. I am pro-life, pro-family, and pro-Constitution. If elected, I will fight to ensure we never again have non-elected government bureaucrats determining which businesses are essential versus non-essential, or mandating experimental vaccines. I will work to decrease government regulation on our businesses. I will work to ensure school choice for our families and work to prevent the grooming of our children within the schools. I am the candidate with the most life experience and the only candidate in the race who was raised in Lima and Allen County. I will bring much-needed healthcare experience to our state legislature. Finally, I'm the only candidate in this race who is not a career politician and have no intention of making a career of politics. My hope is to inspire others to become involved in the preservation of our liberties set down within our Constitution. Thank you, and I'll be happy to take any questions. Yes, sir.
Maybe say once again sort of the impetus or the driving force for you to decide to step away from the medical field and move into politics, an area that you feel passionate about, but like you said, you're not a politician.
Yeah, so I mean, just watching what happened during the pandemic, I mean, I kept seeing erosions of our personal freedoms and liberties for actually quite a long time, but during the pandemic, it just became ridiculous, and I could no longer sit by and just watch all these different things happen and watch our economy destroyed by lockdowns, et cetera, and then mandating vaccines that weren't proven, especially in children and young adults under 30. The data is pretty clear that those vaccines have some very ill effects in that patient population, myocarditis in particular. And so I just no longer could sit by. I mean, down in the legislature, we just don't have very many people that have a healthcare background down there. And I just thought it was imperative to get some different opinions down, especially on the healthcare committee and the families committee, where a lot of healthcare legislation goes through. One of the other big things that was a driving force as well is the use of all these basically chemical castration drugs before the age of 12 and gender identity. There's just no good scientific evidence of using those things. And actually, because we have so many children's hospitals in the state of Ohio, we're actually one of the bigger states for doing a lot of these procedures. And, things like that just have to stop. We really need to have folks down in Columbus that know the scientific evidence behind these things so we can prevent these from continuing. Yeah.
I know that you're going to bring a lot of your medical background and experience to the state legislature, but can you talk about how you'll improve the climate for small businesses based on your experiences being a small business owner?
Sure. As a small business owner, we've seen all the time all the different regulations that were put in place. And one of the biggest areas actually in healthcare. I mean, one of the biggest expenses for any company is paying for healthcare and different mandates that the insurances are required to pay. And those are very expensive for businesses to pay for mandates that their employees don't even necessarily use. I mean, there's some companies where they don't have anybody working for them under the age of 50 and they're still paying for pregnancy coverage and on their stuff. So there's a whole bunch of different things along those lines. The other thing that I think I've always, even when I was growing up in my dad's small company, businesses pay tons of taxes, yet they had to really have taxation without representation. And there's 11 other states in this country that allow business owners to vote in the districts that their business is in. And there's also a few states, I believe, that also allow them to run for office in their district. So those are things that I would like to see change in Ohio to give the business owners a little bit more say in what's happening where their business lies. Yeah.
Dick, I know you've been out on the pavement and knocking on doors. Two questions. How's your reception and what's the feedback you're getting from the voters? And secondly, how do you think this election, being that it's going to be August 2nd, off the calendar type election, what needs to be done for your campaign to get people out to vote? That's going to be critical.
I agree. And to answer the first question, how's my reception been? I think it's been extremely positive. When we've been out in the neighborhoods, I've been getting a very positive reception, getting a lot of different people on my website asking for signs, complimenting that they're tired of having career politicians that are just going to keep switching jobs despite term limits as they go through. In regards to the second question, this is going to be a really weird primary, having it on August 2nd. It's right in the height of summer. We're not going to have a lot of people out and voting. I'll be surprised if, we get 5,000-6,000 people out there voting in this election. So it's going to be crucial for me and all the folks that have been helping me to just get people to get out and do the vote and realize that voting opens July 6th and they don't have to wait till August 2nd if they're going to be gone that week or have vacations planned, that they can go down and vote early starting next week. So I think those will be the key things in this race, is whoever gets the most people turned out to go vote. Any other questions? If not, thank you all very much for coming today.